And welcome to this fall break edition of WKYT Game Time. I'm your crew's captain, Lee K. Howard. He is our first mate, Brian Milan. For those of you headed out to the beaches on the East Coast, of course, stay safe with that hurricane brewing in the Atlantic. Speaking of storms brewing, how about the one tonight over at Bryan Station?
If you're the captain, you're the one going down with the ship, big guy. That's right. The Defender is one of the surprises this season. 5-1. Station finds itself in a great spot heading into district play next week. Tonight, they host Lafayette. The Generals with that huge front line and the explosive running game. It's our game of the week. Here's our Gilligan, Ryan Lemon.
It's the game everybody's been waiting for all year. Lafayette at Bryan Station in the first quarter. Mason Allstat busts in to put the Generals on the board first, 7-0. Quarterback Walker Wood then in the rain finds the end zone. Lafayette led it 13-0. Second quarter, Bryan Station quarterback Andre Davis scores. It was 13-6 Lafayette at the half. Second half, Lafayette finds the scoreboard again and again. It's Walker Wood. Wood scrambles in from a couple yards out, and Lafayette goes up 19-6. Andre Davis left the game with an injury, so Quentin Floyd, the new Bryan Station quarterback, comes in and hits Raphael Peasy-Few down to the 1-yard line. Next play, Floyd then busts in to make it 19-12. But Bryan Station would get no closer. Lafayette wins the rematch from last year, 19-12.
The weather stopped both of us from throwing the ball a little, but on our side of the ball, it's all right. With this big old line, we can give the ball to the backs every time. I think we'll be good.
I mean, of course, a win's always good. I feel like we are where we need to be. Our heads right. Our defense played really well today. Our offense was lacking a little bit, but we stepped it up, and we lacked a little bit at the beginning, but we stepped up, and we just got to win.
I feel great. I feel like we're on the up and up. We get better every single week. We practice hard every single week. Last week, we set a new Lafayette record for rushing yards. 626 yards or something like that in one game. That's crazy, and we're just keep on getting better, keep on getting better.
After last year's game when Bryan Station won at Lafayette, there was a big fight on the field after the game. After this one, both teams meet together at midfield. Lafayette wins this one, returns the favor, winning at Bryan Station, 19-12. Ryan Lemon, WKYT, Game Time.
And that was Ryan Lemon under that hood there. We head next to Pulaski County, where the Maroons are nearly unbeatable, 16 out of their last 17, in fact. Henry Clay, well, they can put points on the board, but as we found out tonight, they can also give up a few points as well. Tough field conditions at Pulaski County made this one look like a mud wrestling contest. Mark Stoops was there to watch the game as well, battling the conditions. In the first, Riley Hall goes up top to Jake Johnson. Nice catch down to the 2-yard line. 2 plays later, Christian Holman lined up in the Wildcat formation. He takes it in for the first touchdown of the ball game. Now, following a Henry Clay turnover, Hall connects with George Gregory on the far side of the field for the touchdown after he scrambled a bit. And this one was a rout. Henry Clay just simply did not want to be there. Final score in this one, 43-0.
It rains every time we go to Pulaski County. Shelbyville, number 6, Franklin County, and Collins, second quarter. Franklin County's Barrett Sanderson. The screen to Denzel Vance, and he's gonna, it's a fumble. Collins sets up shop at the 23-yard line. Titans nearly give it back on a bobbled snap. There's the snap, there's a handoff. Sam Anderson right there for the tackle for loss. Next play, J.R. Lucas drops back to pass. Flyers defense comes up big again. Zach Janka on the sack. That forces a field goal attempt. And, of course, with football, we've got another fumble. And Franklin County, DeMarcus Kennedy going to be there for that. 3-0 at the break. It was all Collins at the end of the break. Second half, 23-0. Collins gets the victory tonight. Bourbon County, Mason County against a winless Mason County team. Rain aplenty for everybody. The Royals and the Colonels going at it. Second half, Bourbon down 14-0. The Colonels play smash mouth football. Marquez Hill right up the middle for a nice gain. Then Clay Bolin will do the rest himself. A quick touchdown makes it 14-6. He had touchdown runs of 1, 16, 41, and something else I didn't hear on the radio. 2-point conversion, no problem. Bourbon scores 30 unanswered. They had 17 yards at the half. They had 300 in the second half. 30-14 your final.
Unbeaten Campbellsville traveling to once-beaten Danville tonight. The Admirals trying to pitch their third shutout. 44-0. The defense capitalizing on the turnover there. You saw that. A lot of wet footballs tonight, a lot of slippery fumbles. Danville capitalizing on some of the turnovers, and then the younger guys getting in. Zach Thornton on the gainer right there. Campbellsville spoils the shutout, but Danville shoots down the Eagles, their first loss of the year, 44-6 the final in that one. All right, Somerset hosting Caverna. The Briar Jumpers jumped out to the early lead. Up 28-0 in the second. Caverna punting, and it's a bad snap. Tristan Purcell gets the tackle, and then he takes the punishment as well. Man. Yeah, that's a safety. 30-0 Somerset. Next Somerset possession. Jordan Doan just waltzes in for 6 more. The defense didn't want to tackle him. 37-0, and the scoring continued. Castle Hatcher to a wide open Josh Cornett. It was 44-0 Briar Jumpers, and Somerset wins 44-24.
Kentucky and EKU square off on the gridiron tomorrow. We preview the game coming up next.
And welcome back. The news dominating the sports world today centered on the Louisville basketball program.
Yeah, this is incredible. Allegations coming today against a former Louisville basketball staff member and former player. A new book due out as early as this weekend claims Andre McGee, number 33, the guy shooting the basketball right there, paid escorts to have sex with U of L recruits. McGee played for the Cardinals in the late 2000s and is the former director of basketball operations. The book is titled Breaking Cardinals Rules, Basketball and the Escort Queen. It alleges the activity went on for 4 years, from 2010 to 2014. More than $10,000 allegedly exchanged hands. Louisville and the NCAA are looking into the allegations.
How can you have 15 assistants, video people, a trainer, an equipment guy, graduate assistants living in the dorm, not ever see anything that's going on like this? You know, so something has to leak out to somebody and be brought to my attention. So it's bizarre to me, to say the least.
We will, of course, continue to monitor that situation. Meanwhile, UK steps out of the SEC and will face EKU, a team that has some weapons on offense tomorrow night, some big-time talent on defense as well. And after a big SEC win at South Carolina and Missouri, the Cats find themselves near the top of the SEC East. But is there any concern about a letdown in playing the Colonels?
We just try to focus on us. You know what I'm saying? We just try to focus on us and get better. Like Coach says, you're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. And we just try to get better every week.
It's homecoming, so I don't think everybody's energy still going to be high, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like I said, we got to focus on ourselves. You know, EKU, they got some good guys out there, so we can't be sleeping on them.
So it is UK and EKU. It's tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff. It'll be on the SEC Network alternate channel.
The Colonels will also wear gold shoelaces tomorrow to help raise awareness of childhood cancer. The EKU Colonels also honoring teammate Joey Kramer by wearing a black patch with the letters JK on their uniform. Kramer died early Sunday morning in a car accident. Coming up, Matt Jones talks EKU and UK.
Kentucky and Eastern play tomorrow, and I'll tell you why it's a big game for UK's reserves coming up on Overtime. Kentucky plays Eastern tomorrow night, and a big game for the Cats as they want to get a win, but it's also a chance to get some guys in the game that we haven't gotten to see. The biggest is Drew Barker. Now, everybody knows about Drew Barker. He played at Conner High School, and he was very good, but we haven't gotten a chance to see him play against other teams in live action. For Barker, it's a chance to finally show people that he can do something besides make news off the field. He's a scrambler. I call him the Johnny Manziel of Kentucky, and we're going to get to see a little bit of that tomorrow night, hopefully. He's able to run around a lot. He has a pretty good arm, but he's got great feet. Unfortunately, because these games have been so close, we haven't gotten to see Drew. But tomorrow he will. Now, the key is he can't lose his mind against an Eastern team that was part of that fight you may remember last spring. He needs to play, show fans what he can do, get the ball downfield, and get through the game. The SEC is very difficult. Guys get hurt, and Patrick Tolles could end up getting hurt. And if so, the season could rely on Drew Barker. It's important that he shows what he can do tomorrow, so if they need him later, he'll be ready. I'm Matt Jones, and this has been Overtime.
So kickoff with the Cats and Colonels 7:30. I don't think there's going to be a problem between the two teams, especially after EKU loses a teammate.
Right.
Both coaches have just got into the stuff of their players. We're going to play football. We're not going to have any of this other stuff.
Right. I mean, it was a terrible thing what happened to Joey Kramer and EKU, and that certainly almost solidifies that nothing happens. And even without that, I think that we're far enough removed from that situation. Yeah, there may be some bad blood between the two teams, but I think they've moved on past that. And like you said, both coaches have informed their team that this is a football game. And this is something, like Mark Stoops said on Monday, that could turn into a positive rivalry for both schools and the state of Kentucky. So I think that's what we're going to see play out tomorrow.
Yeah, and UK has a lot on the line. EKU, if there was an altercation, you'd have to sit out the Auburn game. EKU'd have to sit out an OVC game. You don't want to have that.
No.
And UK with a win, they'd get their 4th win. If they win, 2 away from bowl eligibility with a big chunk of the schedule to go and a big chunk at home.
It'll be a big game coming up tomorrow night at 7:30. Thanks for joining us on Game Time. We'll see you next Friday night.
Good night. Thanks, Captain.